And this from Melissa in Austin, Texas. Thank you, Chair and Committee, for allowing me to testify. I am Melissa, a constituent of Representative Dukes, and mommy to Iris, who is 6, and Sam, who is 4. I am here to testify against HB 16 and the anti-abortion bills because there are thousands of reasons women make the choice to have an abortion procedure, so many more than rape, incest, and the life of the mother. What happens to a woman's body should not be legislated. HB 16 only makes an exception for the life of the mother and does not make an exception for fetal abnormalities. 0.57% of the abortion in Texas are after 20 weeks, almost half of 1%. The women who receive abortions after 20 weeks make this painful decision with their families, usually after receiving news that their child has such severe abnormalities and would only be able to live outside of the womb for minutes, hours, or days, and that their child would die, possibly in extreme pain. These pregnancies are wanted, planned, and loved. The idea of fetal pain is being used as the excuse to outlaw abortion after 20 weeks. The Journal of the American Medical Association found evidence that the brain connectors to feel pain are not formed until at least 24 weeks. I think we should use evidence found by the American Medical Association rather than an article in USA Today that Representative Laubenberg read on a plane. What about the mental and emotional pain of these parents and the physical pain their child may be in from being born before their pending death? Do you think that you, the lawmakers, have the right to make these women carry and then watch their babies suffer and die? How long is too long to watch your baby suffer before it dies? 1 minute? 1 hour? 1 day? Taking this choice away from these women is gut-wrenching and wrong. We are women. We are mothers, daughters, and most importantly, we are human beings. Trust us to make decisions about our bodies and our health decisions with our doctors. Thank you. This from Pamela in Round Rock, Texas, District 52, Representative Larry Gonzalez. This was her planned testimony on HB 16. I registered to testify on HB 60 and HB 16 and waited for more than 10 hours to be called to testify on HB 60. I was denied the right to do so. After shutting down testimony on HB 60, Chairman Cook then decided to arbitrarily and severely restrict the number of witnesses allowed to testify on HB 16, thus preventing representatives from hearing from me and hundreds of other Texans. My prepared testimony against HB 16 follows. Thank you, Chair and Committee, for allowing me to testify. My name is Pamela. I live and vote in Round Rock. I am a constituent of Representative Larry Gonzalez in District 52. I am here today to testify against House Bill 16, the proposed measure that would ban abortions after 20 weeks. Since the legalization of abortion in 1973, abortion services have become more widely accessible. As a result, the overwhelming majority of abortions are performed in the first trimester of pregnancy. For a number of reasons, however, abortion after the first trimester remains a necessary option for women. Although the proponents of HB 16 might say otherwise, their goal is to ban all abortions and severely restrict the right of women to control their own bodies. They call themselves pro-life, but in fact, they threaten violence against doctors and endanger the health of women and the right of physicians to determine the most appropriate treatment for their patients. Their arguments about so-called fetal pain and similar unfounded and fear-based claims are rehashes of decades-old rhetoric. Combined with HB 60 in provisions in SB5, HB16 concocts a perfect storm that endangers the women of Texas and bars their access to abortion. Factors that force women to have abortions after the first trimester include barriers to service, provider shortages, costs, and legal restrictions. Other reasons include psychological denial of pregnancy, as occurs in cases of rape or incest, lack of financial support, lack of pregnancy symptoms, and the seeming continuation of monthly menstrual periods or irregular periods. Medical indications affecting pregnancy may also lead to abortion after the first trimester. Some of these include fetal health concerns from a lack of prenatal care, fetal exposure to prescription medications, and fetal anomaly due to advanced maternal age. Existing conditions in which a woman's health is threatened or aggravated by continuing her pregnancy include certain types of infections, health failure, malignant hypertension, including preeclampsia, out-of-control diabetes, serious renal disease, severe depression, and suicidal ideation. These and other symptoms may not occur until the second trimester, or they may become worse as the pregnancy progresses. In Roe v. Wade, the U.S. Supreme Court held that the U.S. Constitution protects a woman's personal decision to end a pregnancy only after viability, being capable of sustained survival outside a woman's body with or without artificial aid, may states ban abortion altogether. Abortions necessary to preserve the woman's life or health must still be allowed, however, even after viability. HB 16, like its companion bill, HB 60, is not pro-life. It is an anti-woman's health measure that endangers the women of Texas and interferes with personal decisions between women and their doctors. I urge you to reject HB 16. And this from Melissa in Austin. Thank you, Chair and Committee, for allowing me to testify. My name is Melissa, and I am a constituent of Representative Mark Strama of District 50. I'm here to testify against HB 60 because I believe in the equality of women and reproductive justice. In 1978, I had an abortion. I had that surgical abortion in a doctor's office and felt completely cared for and safe. It was a very difficult decision for me and the right decision. I am grateful that I lived in a state where my rights as a woman and a citizen of the United States of America were respected. I was allowed to make the best choice for me and my family. I could give you a list of reasons why I did what I did, but the truth is that those reasons are private and none of your or anyone else's business. I don't have to defend my decision. It was my right to make it and should always be the right of each individual woman. No one else could possibly know my mind, my heart, or understand why I made the choice I did, and they don't have to. My right to make decisions about my own body are mine to make, just as you have the right to make your own decisions about your health, your body, your well-being. Why do you deny my freedom of choice? The idea that doctors would need admitting privileges at a hospital within 30 miles is ridiculous. There are many places in this state where there is not a hospital within 30 miles of a community. Why are you not concerned with the health of those Texans? And what about women giving birth? More women have complications and die in childbirth than from abortion. Shouldn't supporting small community hospitals be a priority? If you really cared about life and reducing the number of abortions, wouldn't expanding Medicaid, providing science-based sex education, easy access to birth control, funding Planned Parenthood and doing all you could to make health care available to each child, woman, and man in Texas be your focus. If all you want to do is be pro-birth, then claim that. I hear that you claim a religious basis for your actions, yet I see no legislation reflecting compassion for the children in Texas that go to bed hungry each night, or the children that are abused, abandoned, and neglected. I see no legislation providing easy access to birth control to reduce the need for abortion. I see no legislation to provide for child care, a living minimum wage, or family leave so more women would feel that they could care for a child. I am against this assault on my rights and the basic equality of women. Reproductive rights are central to women's equal rights and autonomy in society. Men are free to use and buy birth control at any age. Men are free to have vasectomies or not. And if they impregnate someone, they are not required to subsume their rights and the sovereignty over their own bodies at the directive of another person's religious beliefs. Freedom of choice means that every woman and man is free to make personal decisions about their reproductive lives based on their own religious beliefs and consciences. And this from Ellen in Austin, Texas. Hello, thank you for allowing me to testify. My name is Ellen. I reside in Rollingwood, Texas, House District 48, Representative Donna Howard's district. I am testifying against HB 60. As a person of faith, as a Jew, I am dismayed that some religious views are not being taken into account and respected, as this bill aims to make it more and more difficult for a woman to have access to abortion care. My faith is clear on this issue. My Jewish values state that every woman has a right to self-determination, and Judaism views the well-being of the mother as paramount, placing the highest value on existing life. My faith-based perspective informs me whether to terminate a pregnancy is a deeply personal and immensely complex decision, one that should be left to the woman in consultation with her doctor, her partner, her religious values, and her conscience. The bill being heard today represents an intrusion on these values. It seems more aimed to shame a woman than to support her, to treat an individual as if she cannot make and carry out this most important personal decision as her own moral guide. Too often we suppose to know what is in the heart of another person, but of course we all know that that is not possible. So I ask the members of this committee not to dictate a decision such as this for another person. Do not suppose to know what is truly in the heart of a woman who is seeking an abortion, particularly one who is perhaps a victim of rape or incest. I urge the members of this committee to vote against these bills and keep abortion care safe, legal, and accessible for the women of Texas. Thank you for the opportunity.